These scrap mechanic challenge levels are so cool, I'm going to build my own. Wait, how'd they get this water in here? Or this fog? Or this fire? Where'd they get these effects? I've looked through the inventory for hours and I just don't see any of it. What's the big secret? Well, I think it's time to reveal that secret. Let's go! So the first thing we're going to need to do is get the scrap mechanic mod tool. So you go right here and you click on this and you're going to click on tools and set this to all. And then in search, we're going to just search for scrap mechanic mod tool. Actually, if you put scrap in, you're probably going to find this. You click on that and then you click install. Go ahead and tell it to create a desktop shortcut. Hit next. I also recommend getting Notepad++. You can get that from notepadplus.org. And when you get here, you can just go over to the left-hand side of the screen, hit download, and then download the latest version. Next up, we need to place a marker on our level, and if you've already got one built, I'll show you that in a minute. So what I like to do is take a look at how the arms of the build platform are done, and I follow the top arm on the right. Now you can do this kind of however you want, but this is how I like to do it. Right in the corner of that little arrow, there's one on the other side, and that's why I say pay attention to where that arm is. But right in that little arrow right there, I'm going to build out one that way, and then I'm going to build straight up. I recommend you build your challenge levels a lot higher than that in case you decide to build down later on. And then I'm just going to build a little platform out this way. And I just want a place that I can make a pool of water. Alright, and I'm going to make myself a little platform here. And then I'm going to put a player start down. If you don't put a player start down, you're going to start down there on the build platform. So put yourself a platform up here. You see where the arrow is pointing that way, so just hit Q to rotate that around. Then on each of these corners, I'm just going to build a little pedestal. I'm also going to build a little sign here. Again, you don't have to do all the stuff that I'm doing here. I'm just kind of making something so that we can have a place to put some of our effects once we get into the tile editor. And down below here, I'm going to have some fog, I think. Now, let's say you started building your level and you completely covered the build platform. There is still hope. Okay, so I'm going to do the technique I did before. I'm going to remind the orientation of that top arm. Come right out to one of these corners. You can actually build into the build platform on the outside here just a bit, as you can see. You might try doing that, and maybe even putting another one here. However you think you might want to do it, but you're going to have to mark your world somehow so that you can see it later on, and I'll show you what I mean in here in just a minute. And of course, be sure to save what you're doing here. You can hit save, or whenever you press exit, there will be a save before exiting prompt. Make sure you hit yes. Now you're going to need to open your scrap mechanic folder, and if you don't know how to get to that, you're just going to open your Steam, go to scrap mechanic, right click, hit manage here, and then browse local files. And it may not appear to open right away. It may be right here in the bottom like it is on mine. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my Steam. I recommend going back a folder here, bringing this over here with right click and drag, create shortcut here. And I'm going to put this right here. So I recommend you keep a shortcut like that so you can get in this folder anytime you need to, especially doing the amount of things we're going to do today. Okay, so from here we're going to go back into our scrap mechanic folder, and now we're going to have to copy and paste some things. Don't worry, this will be fairly easy to do. Alright, so we're going to go into challenge data right here, then down to terrain, then database, and then open up this assetsets.json with your Notepad++. And then from this first curly bracket to this curly bracket, we need all of that. You can just go ahead and copy all the way up to here. And for that, you just left click and drag it up there. And you can either hold Control and press C as in copy, or you can go up here and press copy, either way. Now you can just close this file. Now we're going to go back over to Scrap Mechanic, Data this time, then to Terrain again, and Database. And now we have another assetsets.json. I'm going to open that the same way with Notepad++. Now once you're in this file, you're going to click right here next to this bracket, press Enter. Then you can either hold Control and press V as in victory, or come up here to Edit and press Paste. Okay, and if you skip this step, you're going to be missing the build platform later on when we're in the tile editor. Last thing to do here is put a comma right after that curly bracket, and then either hold Control and press S, as in save, or come up here to File and press Save. And now we can just exit out of that. And now we're going to open the Scrap Mechanic mod tool, which should now be here on your desktop. If it's not on your desktop, then go back into Steam and you'll find it right here. You can just hit here and click launch. Alright, now if you're new to the Scrap Mechanic mod tool, when you first get here, it's going to say open mod and there's going to be nothing here. Just go ahead and close this. Go up here to File, New Mod, Custom Game, Survival Template. And enter a mod name. I'm just going to call this one Tutorial. Press OK. Now we're not creating a mod exactly, we've just created some folder structure by doing this. Okay, so minimize this other little window as well. And now we're going to go back into our Scrap Mechanic folder. Now you're going to go to Challenge Data, Terrain, this time Tiles, and right-click on this Challenge Builder default tile and hit Copy. Now right up here on the top, click once and it should select everything. If it doesn't, hold Control and press A. And just get rid of all of that and then type %app data, all as one word, and %. Press Enter. This will take you to your roaming folder. Go to Axolot Games, Scrap Mechanic, User, and your user number, which if you've got more than one user, you're going to find more than one in here, but whichever one of these you go into, you're going to go here and into Mods, and you should see your tutorial that we just created, unless you named yours something else. If you don't find a mods folder and your tutorial, then you're in the wrong user folder, and just go back and pick the right user. And then of course back into your mods folder and whatever you named your quote-unquote mod. And then we're going to go into Terrain, Tiles, and then you're going to paste that Challenge Builder default tile here. Now I recommend you go ahead and make yourself another copy of this file and either put it in this folder or on your desktop, wherever you keep frequently used files, because the next time you decide to create another level and you need another tile for it, this is the step you're going to start with. If you click on it just one time, it should do this, but if it doesn't do that or something, you can also right-click and hit Rename. Then we're going to change this to Tutorial. Now go back to your user folder here, and you want to go to Challenges. Now you need to find your challenge. If you're new to this and you're making your first world, then you're only going to see one of these. But if you see several of them, then you're going to want to click on Date Modified until this little arrow on top changes to down, and you'll see that the first folder here is made today. That is probably my tutorial level. And then we're going to right-click and copy this level creation 1.blueprint. And what that is that's the level that I just made in the Challenge Builder a little while ago. And if you got the preview pane like I have, you can click there and see that that's that little platform I built. Alright, now we're going to go back here, so click on Challenges, and then you go to your user again, back to Mods, open up this tutorial, and then you're going to create a folder in here. So just come to an empty space somewhere, right-click, New, and Folder. I'm going to call this Blueprints. Make sure you name it exactly as I've got here. And then open that up and right-click and paste. Put that level creation 1.blueprint right there. I also recommend you create a shortcut to your user folder. I'm going to come over here and just place this here and create a shortcut. I'm going to come back to that in a while. Back into the Scrap Mechanic folder again. Now if you already did this step and you're building your next challenge level, or you just don't need water, then you can skip this step. Now we're going to go to Challenges, Master Mechanic Trials, Tiles, and then we're looking for Challenge Mode Stunt Level 01.tile, this one right here. Copy this one, and then go back over to your user folder, into your mods, tutorial, terrain, tiles, and you're going to paste that file there as well. Now just come back down here and open your mod tool back up, and we're going to open the tile editor, so click on Editors and Tile, and wait for the tile editor to load. And once it's loaded, you don't have to worry about this here. You can just minimize this. Now we're going to go up here to File, Open. And if you don't need water in your level, you can skip this next part. And then you should see Challenge Mode Stunt Level 1. Don't worry about the image there. Just go ahead and left click on that. And you'll see there is some water here. Now I prefer to get the best water I can get here. Alright, so over here in the outliner, and you can expand this if you can't see all of it properly. Now if you start scrolling down here, you'll see Environment Challenge Mode Water. And roll your mouse wheel down until you see the last one right there. So click on that one, and you'll see something over there, Highlights. You can hold right click in the tile editor, and then just move your camera around with WSAD. Or however you have your controls set. They're about the same as they are in Scrap Mechanic Challenge Mode. And then scroll down all the way to the bottom here. Nope, not all, almost all the way to the bottom. And you'll see some more water. And hold Control and left click one of these. And if you just grab this with left mouse and pull it around, you'll see you have not only the surface, but also this blue block here. Now, if you don't have this right, what's going to happen is, if you only have one of these selected and you move it around, you're going to see that the surface stays right here. And you don't want that. That's the surface of the water right there. And you want both of those together. If this happens, Control Z will put that back in place. And Control Z again should make me select both of those. Alright, now I have those together. Now, hold Control and press C as in copy. And then you're going to go back up here to Open, and open your tutorial tile. It says, are you sure? Press yes. Alright, and look at that. Here is the build platform, and in this one you can actually go below the grid. And remember the top part of the arm going out to the right there. So that's the same orientation we want to do here. Now, come over here to B for Blueprint. You're going to left click and drag this into your editor. Look at that. Alright, and now just drag this around until it lines up, and then just fly up here closely to it. You're going to want to get that lined up just like you had it in the Challenge Builder. And again, I'm just grabbing these little arrows and moving them around. Oh, I'm not quite in the right place there. Look at that. Now that goes underneath. Okay, so I'm right on that platform like I need to be. And that should be the exact spot that's in the challenge level. And once you've got this in the exact spot that you had it in the challenge builder, then you're ready to add some effects. Alright, now it's really dark in the level right now, so I'm going to go ahead and go to N for Node, drag this effect out here, and it defaults to fire, but that's okay. I'm going to pull this up, and then I'm going to go over here to where it says Effect Set, change this to Lights, and now I've got an ambient light here so I can kind of see. I'm going to go ahead and go to Radius and bump this up to 50. Now I'm going to do Control V as in Victory. That's going to place the water. It's too big, but that's okay. We're going to scale it down and make that fit. So we go up here to the Scale button. Now all three of these will do the exact same thing until you hold Control. So I'm just moving all of them at once and trying to see if I can't get it right in the middle there. Go back up here to the Move, or Translate as it says. And you're going to try to move this right in there. And another thing you can also do is click on this. This will snap to grid. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's a little bothersome. It just depends on what you feel like. See how it kind of snaps into place there on the blocks. I'm going to keep on scaling this down until I get it in the right place. Alright, now hold Control and left click on one of these and you can move it out just on that axis. I've gone too far on there, so I'm going to bring that back in. Try to move it back in place here. Now when you're moving, you don't have to press control, you just grab on the one you want to move and move it. But when you're doing scaling, you have to hold control if you want to go just on that axis, otherwise it goes on all of them. And then I'm going to get here and spread this way. You just have to play with this for a while until you get the water in just the right spot. Alright, now let's go to these outer poles here and add the fire. Now they have a fire effect right here, but I haven't been able to get that one to work. I'm not exactly sure why, but they have fire also in the effect. So we'll just drag this over here, place it right there. And then you can move this around to your liking. You can also turn snapping off if you want to move it right in the center of that block. Entirely up to you. You can also change the type of fire that it's putting out. You can make it the shipwreck fire and make it just a really big one. But for me, I'm just going to leave it as the small one. So let's go to small. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing to these others, except I don't need to click on effect again. I've got this effect here, so to copy it, hold shift and left click and drag, and you'll just pull another one out right there. Look at that. Super easy to do. And then if I hold control and click that one, now I've selected both of these. You'll see that the axis is only on one of them though, so I'm going to do this, and then I can hold shift and left click and drag both of these over. And then I just come over here and kind of position that just like that. Then it's a good idea to come over here and make sure that this one is indeed in the right spot, however you want to do it. Alright, there we go, we got the fire. This light here is no longer needed, so I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Just left click on that to select it and then press delete. Now you see it got quite dark when I did that, but that's alright because there's a directional light in the challenge world itself that's going to light all this up pretty bright anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about lighting at this point. I would like to place an arrow right here though. So we're going to drag an effect right here. We're going to select the effect set. And we're going to come down to quest effects. And you're going to see a big thing pop up there. And then on effect, we're going to select point marker large. You're going to see that's quite large. And then we're just going to scale this down. So press the scale button, and without holding control, just bring this on down. With that, we've got a nice little arrow there. And of course we can move this around just like any of the other effects. Now we've got an arrow saying you need to go this way for whatever reason. We can also rotate this any way we want. Just click on the rotate icon there, and then you can grab this and rotate it any way you'd like. If you don't like the rotation you set it to, hold control and press Z, as in zebra, to undo. And you can also click on snapping and then rotate, and that will allow you to snap it along a 45-degree angle there. Now one more effect I would like to add is the fog. You're going to click on effect again. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right here, and then change this to environment. And there are all kinds of things you can play with on this. I recommend getting in here and just playing with it and seeing what you can get. I'm going to choose small fog. And here in a moment you're going to start seeing some fog kind of appear in the world. I see it now already. I don't want it up this high though. I'm going to bring this down so that there is fog just down below the world here. Now unfortunately we can't scale the fog any. You'll see if I try to scale the fog, it scales the little box, but it doesn't do anything to the fog itself. You can, however, rotate it if you want to. Alright, now I am done editing my little world here. Pay no attention to that haybot in the corner. For whatever reason, it didn't make it into the challenge level. I need to save, but before I save, make sure you come down to your blueprints, right here, and delete. Wait, what? Well, you've already got your level built in the challenge builder, so If you leave that blueprint here, it's going to overlay on top of the other one that's already there, cause a whole bunch of lag and other issues. So be sure to just delete that out of there, and then come up here to File and hit Save. Alright, and now we can just exit out of the tile builder, and go ahead and exit out of the mod tool as well. Now before we look at our level, there's one more thing we need to do. Let's go back over to the user folder. We go over to Mods, Tutorial, Terrain, Tiles, and we copy the tutorial tile, or whatever you named yours. We're going to just right click and copy that, and then you're going to go back over to your user folder again, to your challenges, to your challenge, and then you're going to paste that in here. Alright, and then I recommend you get yourself a copy of this exactly as it is. So Control C, or you can right click and hit copy, and then you're going to open up the challenge level.json right here and edit, and here you're going to see tiles, and it is set to challenge builder default.tile. We don't want that. We want to change that to the name of our tutorial, so we change it to that, and then we're going to take everything from here back to here. All you want is that challenge data and tutorial tile. We don't need the extra tile here though, so let's just make that one tile. And then we want to change challenge to content. Pretty easy to do. Make sure it's in all caps. And $content data tells the game to come to this folder to find that tutorial.tile. Alright, and then we're just going to save. And you can exit this. Alright, now are you ready to see what your level looks like? Time to load up Scrap Mechanic and find out. So you're going to go into Challenge, Challenge Builder, and then you click on your level here. Don't click on Build though, click on Play, because if you click on Build, it's going to go to the Builder, and a lot of the effects don't show up in the Builder. So we're going to go to Play, and look at that! We've got fire, we've got water, we've got the arrow on our side, and there's some fog rolling around out here. If you follow these instructions as I have it on here, you will be looking at something similar. And you can test the water by jumping in here. You can see it splashes around. If it was a little deeper, you'd be able to tell that I can swim in it. But yeah, that is how you get effects into challenge mode. Now, I'm aware that there may be some other ways to actually get this to work, but this is the way I found it seems to work best for me. Alright, now I'm in build mode again, and I can fly around and everything. You can see the water loaded, but none of the other effects are here. This is an unfortunate thing, and I do hope the developers make it a little easier to add effects and things like that in challenge mode in the future. Alright, so let's say I want to add something else to my world here, like maybe this little platform or something. Now, if I go out of here and save, if you play the world again, you'll see that there's nothing here. Where did everything go? Anytime that you make a change to your level, you're going to have to come back into this file and change this back to content data and the name of your tile. Unfortunately, until the devs fix this. Hopefully they will fix this pretty soon. And make sure to save that. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, don't forget to hit that like button on the way out, and if you want to see more content on my channel, hit subscribe. And please let me know what you think about this video in the comments and whether it's helped you out or not. If you still feel confused about something, drop me a line and I will do my best to help you out. And if you think I missed something in this video, or maybe there's a better way to do something, let me know in those comments below, and I will get back in and make an update if necessary. Anyway, this is Xeridox, and I will see you next time.